Do not go anywhere, because in this video I want to bring you absolute value and explain to you why you should check out the Canon M100 or its younger brother the M200 to bring you even more value as a content creator or anyone that want to take great video or photography. Now if that sounds interesting to you, I'm Dave from TVR Creators and I make weekly content on the best cameras for hobbyists and filmmakers alike. So if that sounds interesting to you, don't forget to like and subscribe. So today we're talking about the M200 or its older brother, the M100. Very similar cameras. The only real main difference is one has clean HDMI and has a slightly better sensor and is just a little bit newer, blah, blah, blah. Now, why do I love this camera? For many reasons. It's really good for beginners. This camera for video, as a beginner in video, is an absolutely fantastic camera. This is why. It's a 24 megapixel camera. It takes fantastic photos, takes great video, and this camera will bring you absolute value. Now, it's a mirrorless camera. It's small, it's light. Most importantly, it's easy to use, has interchangeable lenses. Let's see if we can do this on live TV. You just press the button in front of the camera, turn the lens slightly, and then off it comes. Can you see it there? Let's see if it focuses for you. No, it won't. And then to put it back on, you find a little red light. I just like to do that little zoom for you. And then you find the little white dots, you turn it, and you have that satisfying sound and put the lens back on, which brings you even more value. Now, it does have a flash on the top. Little power tip, if you're taking out the SD card, pull back this screen on the back, and you can pull the little cap and get the SD card out. I recommend 128 gig or 64 gig. We use 32 or 64 just so I don't have all video or photos in one spot. Now, what's really nifty about this, it has an easy, it does have an auto mode, but also has a photo and video mode on the top. So there's sometimes as a beginner it might be a little bit daunting if you've got this mode and that mode and mountain mode and Dave jumping over hill mode or whatever the mode you get on cameras. But what I love about the M200 is it really does make it simple with an easy video or photo mode. So there's no messing about, there's no looking on menus. It's straight to the mode you want and off you go. Now what's really nifty about this, it does have a flip touchscreen, which is really cool. And when you take photos, what's really cool about this, let's see if we can do this on live TV. If we turn this on now, you can literally set up the lens by moving it. You can move it like that. Hang on a sec. And we'll just put it into photo mode on the top. And if you can just see my mug, you can see the camera there. See the camera there? You can see the camera, and you can literally just, there you go. You can just tap the screen and off it goes. So I can literally just take a picture of myself here on live TV. Hang on, I'm going to do it now. I'm going to and you can literally just off you go and take really cool photos with this camera. This camera will bring you absolute value. So what's really cool about this, you can literally just tap the screen like you would on your phone. It will autofocus on the face or the object that you press it on and off you go, making this camera so intuitive to use. Now, why do I love the flip screen? Well, it faces you, so it's literally like a selfie screen, or when you're using a more expensive camera or your phone, so you can see what you're doing when there we go, we can see what we're doing when we're recording and all that jazz, making this camera really easy. It's light, it's agile. Now what comes in the bag, the camera, usually the kit lens unless you bought it without it, and obviously the body. It will come with a Canon strap. It should come with a battery. Depending on what deal you get, sometimes you get bags, you don't always. You will come with a charger. I recommend a spare battery just because it's really handy, even in the timeless video, to have a spare battery, especially if you do what I do sometimes with this camera, go on day trips and stuff like that. I've even taken this on holiday, and it's just really handy to have that video, you know, that battery handy. But what I have found, if you just turn it off and you're not using it, it will last probably most of the day anyway. Which is really, really cool. Now, ultimately, I love this because it has an easy photo mode, easy record mode, very nice to hold in the hand, very intuitive. Like I said, it does all the heavy lifting for you in both photo and video mode. If you're getting value so far from this video, don't forget to hit the like button and feel free to ask your questions in the comments below. I'll do my best to help you out. And question of the day, what camera or phone do you use to film your video with at the moment. I'll just be interested to find out. Now, anything I've missed about this camera that you need to know. Now, obviously, if you're a bit more advanced, obviously you'd probably get a more advanced camera anyway, but you can play with the shutter speed and the ISO and all that jazz. You just go into settings and you can adjust it accordingly. But I massively recommend just put it into video mode. I come from a background years ago when I used to love recording in, you know, just get a nice camcorder, press record, and off I went. So that's what I love about these simple, very intuitive and easy to use Canon cameras, because they're just easy to do all the heavy lifting for you. As long as you've got a good light and a good microphone, off you go. Now, one thing actually to bear in mind, it doesn't have a microphone jack, so you can record fine indoors and you can record perfectly well outside, but just bear in mind if it's a bit windy, you might have to use a separate microphone, or you might have to look at different cameras if you're doing a lot of outdoor filming. But I've used this outside, and as long as it's not windy, it's fine. If you're only sort of this close, you do blogging and stuff like that, so it'll be perfectly fine for blogging. But just as a first camera, you can get one of these now for about 150, 200, which is far cheaper than hundreds or if not thousands that a lot of cameras are. And in the nicest possible way, if you're looking for something that's just easy to use, I cannot recommend this camera any more. Now, if I've forgotten anything, please feel free to ask your questions in the comments below. I'll do my best, but this camera is absolutely brilliant. And I just want to say, I'm Dave from TVR Creators, and I make weekly content on the best cameras for content creators, filmmakers, and everybody that wants an easy to use camera. If that sounds interesting to you, don't forget to like and subscribe. And in a moment, I'm going to leave 2 end cards, which will give more information about this camera, help you out in either photography or video. Click the one you want, and I'll see you in the next video. Boom! Because you guys rock.